Hey everybody, Joshua Laycock here. I am sick, so this will be a quick one today. But as always, I like to try to find a lesson somewhere, if for no other reason than to have something to say when I make a video every day. But I don't get sick often. I got a little bit sick over the holidays, and this one kind of crept up on me last night. I shouldn't say it crept up on me. It swooped down in on me last night, like someone dropped a ton of bricks on me. But it is what it is. And, it's funny. I don't sleep when I'm sick, typically, unfortunately, just because I find actually cold meds, while they kind of relieve some of the symptoms, for whatever reason, they don't let me sleep. So, pardon me. They keep me up. So I've been up thinking about a lot of stuff, and it's always an interesting opportunity. But the thing with a cold is, who cares? First of all, who cares? In a couple days it'll be gone, and right now it feels like a huge deal, but in a few days it'll be gone. And the funny thing is that by the end of it, you'd almost forget when you're better. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh right, I've been better for a few days, and I don't even notice it. It's how quickly our body adapts to shitty situations. So that's obviously the first lesson, is like, it's never as bad as it feels when you're right in the middle of it. I remember when I've run some races in the middle of it, I'm like, why do I do these things? And then a few days later you're like, wow, that was amazing, that was great, I'm gonna do that again next year. Life is never the hard times are never as bad as they feel right when you're in the middle of them. And you just kind of have to be resilient and endure them and get to the other side of it and move on. And that's the most important lesson. Don't make things bigger than they really need to be. The other thing, which is kind of interesting, is pardon me, the value of perspective. My back's been a little achy this week, and my wrist is still really freaking sore. But you know what? As I'm dealing with whatever this cold shit is, sore throat, headache, cough, blah, 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 I'm not noticing or paying attention to the ache in my back or the pain in my wrist. My mind's attention is elsewhere. And that's something that I've been working on, is how to deal with pain consciously. There's certain levels of pain that, look, you just have to endure it, or you need help with meds. But when I'm talking about annoying stuff like aches in your back and a sprained wrist and stuff, which really aren't that big a deal, it's amazing that when you shift your perspective to something else, and it doesn't have to be something else that's negative, but when you shift your perspective to something else, your body also, it generally tends to forget about the other pains. I think that things hurt because we think about them, and that's like a lot of life. Like, things that suck in life generally suck more because we focus on them, because we're obsessing about them. And that is, it's kind of a mirror into life when they talk about, like, kids who maybe as they get into their teens start causing a lot of trouble. What's the one thing that a lot of people say is like, oh, they're just bored, right? Bored kids do dumb things. I'm like, right, that's because they're focusing on how do I fill my day, and that's dumb things. Keeping your life full, not busy, not jammed, but keeping your mind occupied with positive things, keeping your life full of happy and enjoyable things, and having people in your life that you love, and having tasks that you enjoy doing and hobbies, gives your mind a reason to focus on something other than the negative, other than the tough times maybe that you're going through, or people might say that's escapism, and maybe, but when it comes to things like pain, why would you need to live in it beyond the small amount? So it's just really interesting that this cold that I have, the kind of upside to the cold is that it's giving me some respite from the pain in my back and in my arm. And that's kind of cool. And it just reminds us that our body can compensate and can shut certain things down when we give it the right kind of distractions, or when we engage in a different way. So, that's all I've got. I'm going to go get a coffee. I got work to do today. So that's the other thing, is that the world doesn't stop when you're sick. So move on and get her done. I'm going to go distract my brain. I can almost guarantee you, I get a coffee, some food in me, I get my computer up and I start doing some work and have some phone calls. I'll forget in an hour that I'm sick. And so recognize it, acknowledge it, take care of yourself, but then just get on with the work and get her done. So I'm going to go home and take care of myself. I'm working from home so I can spare everyone else whatever this is. And I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you're feeling a little bit better than I am. And if you're not, remember, this too shall pass. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.